Well, there's breaking news coming in at this hour. Now, the US-China trade talks have begun. The trade talks have begun in Malaysia. Important to understand that US and Chinese officials kicked off a new round of talks aimed at diffusing a standoff between the world's two largest economies before an upcoming leaders summit. Now, the Chinese and US delegations began a meeting in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday morning. Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng led the Chinese side, while US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent headed the US team. Important to understand that a key meeting has begun in Malaysia. It's a meeting between the US and China trade talks. Important to understand that the negotiators have in fact begun the meeting. On this, we have my colleague Vishal Vivek joining us on the telecast. Now, Vishal, a crucial meet as this meeting, of course, sets the stage for expected talks on Thursday between Xi Jinping and, of course, the US President Donald Trump. This, of course, will be on the sidelines of the APEC summit in South Korea. Now, walk us through some of the talking points of this meeting.
Well, the biggest one is the trade talk itself, the trade deal itself, which has been, hanging in the balance for a while now because both the sides have had several rounds of discussions. We've had 3 extensions on the tariffs that the US wants to put on China. Donald Trump himself has threatened that if there is no deal before November 1st, there will be as high as 155% tariffs on Chinese products that get into the US territory. And that is expected to, evoke a reaction from the Chinese side as well, because Chinese side has also not kept quiet. It has always reacted. It has always retaliated with an equal measure every time. But these talks signal something positive because every time these talks have happened in the recent past, in the last 2-3 months, they have had, they've resulted in somewhat of an extension of the threatened tariffs. We've had so far 3 extensions on the tariffs that the US has threatened on China. That has sort of struck a balance between both the sides. But what happened just a few weeks ago was that China, imposed some fresh curbs on the rare earth metals that it exports. That, they drew some sharp criticism from Trump's side. And that is what will be the main talking point. So we'll have to wait for what happens then.